Before episode 2 starts, if you haven't watched episode 1, then I strongly suggest you heading over, seeing that video first, so that you haven't missed all of the action unfold so far. Previously, how about this for a spot then? Absolutely mega. Oh, we found the mother load, tons of them here. Huge lips on this one, and yeah, 43 pounds. Go on, go on, yes! Yes! I must be off my bloody rocker. Oh, I'm shitting myself. Ah. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Just lost my boat. Look, it's out there. It's got all my kit on it. Stay tuned for more clownness from me. Running through the island here to try and catch the boat up. Oh, leave. Absolute tits, boy. Look at it through there, look. What a knobhead. Update on the boat lossage. The boat is still level and I am still running through the forest, chasing the boat. Fucking idiot. Look, there it is. Look out there, look. It's drifting past. Luckily it isn't in the savage wind and Nikki's nearby. Fucking idiot. Look at this, Dave! Nikki to the rescue. Thanks, man. It's all part of the adventure, innit? Said no man never. What an absolute tit. I can't believe that. Noddy. Mate, you're an absolute bloody legend. Thank you, man. Yeah, we've got you. Oh, Nicholas. Mate, I nearly dived in. I thought I'm gonna have to jump in for that, but it was too far out and I knew it was 16 foot off the edge of my swim.
Is it?
16 foot right in front of me. Thanks for that, man. You're a bloody legend. What a tosser. Right, I'm giving it the old, oh, look at the mountains out the background and all that. Oh, look how nice it is out the back. Come round the front, I'm like, fuck. My boat. I thought, right, I'm jumping in. I took the life jacket off and everything. Right, I'm going in. I thought, oh, it's 16 foot there. All right, let's try and get out of here. Stay on my foot. Oh, look at me boat now. What div? Keeps me waiting. Yes, right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, it feels so bloody good in here. It really does feel absolutely mega. Yeah, the rods are looking absolutely lovely. Sat on each doodah there, can't have them miss, you know, one up, one down, and this, that, the other, not straight. Especially when you're fishing a venue like this, that's really important, obviously. Probably move tomorrow. Anyway, right, so first rod is ready to drop. I've got a switch bollocks rig on there, a couple of 18 millers, two 18 millers, which is going to go down. So see this right hand margin here, down there there's a row of trees that I would say is about 2 maybe 3 rod lengths off of this island, and that row of trees runs along here. I've looked at it on Google Maps and I'm going to find the end of them trees, so I'm going to fish one rod on the snags on this island. So anything that's coming sort of along the front here, that should get him. So that's the first rod. Always do your rods downwind so that you can cane it upwind and then set your rod. Do the next one, cane it upwind, set your rod. If you do it upwind and come down, you'll end up wiping one rod out after the other, sort of thing. So that's always the way I like to do it. Downwind, cane it all the way upwind, and then you're never going to wipe anything out. So loving life on this island at the minute. It looks mega out there. And do you know the best bit? There's no one here. There's no carp anglers on here, which, well, it's 20 miles round. To drive around this lake, it's 20 miles all the way around this pond. no carp anglers in sight. Absolutely blissful. Mountains with snow in the background. It's May, feels mega, low pressure, rain's coming in. What more could you ask for? A cod, of course. First night success and all that. Got one down there. Yes. So that rod that I put out on the bollocks rig down to the right hand side here where we found them trees, and I put the halo pole in amongst trees. Yeah, went this morning at about 4 o'clock, still pitch black, and yeah, got one. Not a monster by this lake standards, but we got one. So yeah, ideal. I mean, he might not be the biggest fish in the world, but what he has told me is I've definitely got that spot right, so I'm buzzing about that. So what I ended up doing with the other 2 rods, so I did drop that one out with the old tiger nut loop on it. I put that out on a 12-foot bar that runs off of that tree there. So you got that tree is up on a plateau, and then it sort of runs down into 13 foot. Then it just comes up by a foot, 12 foot. 26 foot of water this side, and then it drops back down into 13 that side, so it's a little bit of a hump out there, and yeah, it's a nice looking zone right sort of on the end of this wind. Really, I tried to find this deep where this deep water runs on sort of Google Maps. It comes up, it doesn't come up, definitely not. So yeah, I binned that one off and put the halo pole on that 12-foot marker out there in the pitch black. And then with the other 2 rods, because obviously this row of trees here, I just cast them out into this sort of deepish channel in front of me. It's like 16 foot right in front. So yeah, just cast them 2 out, and they've done nothing. So today will be the first day of getting these rods in proper zone sort of thing. I've been staring out the back here all morning. So if I sort of walk through here, you know, you get a really good look at the pond off of the end here. So had a few cups of tea, just staring at all that massive water that's out there. Haven't really seen anything out there. The wind wasn't as hectic an hour ago. So yeah, wicked. And I've got all this out the back here to stare at as well. So just keeping an eye out on all this. But in the meantime, we bloody got one. And yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. So let's get him out of the water. Buzzing to have got one so quickly. Wicked. Right, stop waffling, Lee. Oh, here we go. He might not be the biggest in the world. Ready? Brace yourselves. Well, he might not be the biggest in the world, but he's a carp all the same, and first one on the first night is always the most important, I guess. The first fish showing me obviously that spot is a place where these carp like to feed. So right, let's send him on his way, a couple of snaps, and then hopefully get a few more of your mates. Right, one last look at him then. Cheers me dears. Wicked. Right, so hopefully get some bigger and much more scalier. Well, you can't get more scalier than that, I suppose, but mirror form, please. Wicked. Right. Away, my friend. There you go. Nice. Right, so here's my spot, which I had the fish from. Oh, boat's on the piss. We don't want that. All these bloody waves. So yeah, just in front of this pole, just spraying a few tigers about first, like so. Chuck a few of these big old 22mm switches, and down, bum, bang. Bloody hell. Very choppy. Right, that's that rod done. Wicked. Make sure that's moored on. And yeah, so there's me little like rainbow hook there, just to keep it off of that tree really. Let's keep the line off of that. So should we get a bite? So I've got this rod locked up, of course. Nice and heavy he is now. So you've got like a spring inside them, so keep them nice and heavy. We have 12-ounce lead on there, so it shouldn't drag it. And you get bloody awesome bites. But he's got enough to take. Normally I'd point the rod straight at it, but you know, he's got that pole's in where the tree is, so he can at least take half a rod length on the bite, so I'm not too concerned about that yet. Okay, well I've got 2 more rods ready to rock and roll, both on bollocks rigs. One's on a bug and the other one's on a bug and switch, mixing it up a little bit, going wild with it. But these waves are getting a little bit more lairier by the minute. It's not ideal, and it's sort of white caps out there, so I'm a proper pussy in the wind, as you've probably gathered that by now. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I don't think it's going to calm down. I'm just got to man up and get out in that pond, find some zones to fish, because this weather is off the chain. This is perfect for these big pits. Let's head out there and hope we survive. So I'm thinking probably the best bet is to fish the left-hand side of that island out there, sort of as it sort of shallows off. I think it's going to be the zone. Bloody hell, that tree is in 14 foot of water, would you believe? Wow, 13 foot of water, Jesus. Nice flat area here at 10 foot. There, have quick donker backs. There is a bit of weed about, so hopefully there's not bloody loads here. Beautiful. One last little drag. Check there's no weed, sorted. Clip that on. God, boat spinning. I'm just going to put loads of bug out in a big area on this. Get some tigers onto the spot where the rig's going to go. Which will be there. Sorted. I'll get this rod in hand and ready to rock and roll. Boom, that's down. Okay. Get that H block. Undo that. In the boat. Keep away from that tree, Lee. Oh God, that was close. Let's get out of here. Oh, that was horrible. I'm not gonna lie. And side on in this is not ideal. Ah, big waves. Oh God, I'm crapping myself. Oh, thank God for that. That was horrible. That was bloody horrible. Right, well the right hand has gone. I still haven't got my fourth rod out. This is the one down on them trees, but I don't think it's a small thing. I don't even think it's a carp. And it's come off. Great. Great. Well, I'm now down to one rod because of that idiot out there on the wakeboard. He's just come in and wiped that second to last rod that's in the water out. This wind's getting worse, so I think it's time to put some food on. Bit of a meat feast there, and have a beer, I think. He's got thousands of acres out there and he wants to come and wakeboard right in front of my swim. Why? Do it elsewhere, mate. Like, there's another 1,000 acres over there. Go that way. Unbelievable. Right, well, we're fishing with 4 rods properly. First time on this bloody trip. It's only taken a week to get it right, but yeah, I've moved this one over. So that was the rod that was left hand side of that tree on the 10-foot bit. I was thinking I've got that rod on 10 foot, that rod's on 12 foot, and this rod's in 11 foot. But perhaps I should fish something a little bit deeper, so to the right hand side of where that 15-foot tree is, out there, it drops down here, down into 30 foot of water, then it comes up to 15 foot, then drops down into 16, then it's 16 for about 2 rod lengths and drops back down into 20. So on that 16-foot bit is where I've stuck that rod. So that's all 4 rods out now. Got the left hand rod, left hand side of that tree. This rod, right hand side of the tree, but in deep water. This rod on the bar that runs all the way along that tree. And then this rod down this edge here. So I've got all bases covered really. If they come up onto that shallows there, I've got them. If they go behind that into the deeper bit, I've got them. If they come in front of it along that bar, we've got them. And then if they run along this margin here, we've got them. The only bit I'm not really covering is that 30-foot bit in front of the swim here, but yeah, it just doesn't feel the one, that. So I've not bothered with that. But Nicky's fishing in 20 foot in the middle of this channel, so he's got that bit covered, sort of thing, and he's obviously further down the lake. Got a French guy on the end here who politely come and asked if he could fish off of the end of this point. He's a regular here, and I obliged. Yeah, of course you can fish off of that point. He said that he'd lost a couple of fish from the trees that run along from this island to the next island. He said that he'd lost one there last week, lost 2 fish there. So yeah, go in there, mate, so I can eye up your spots. and yeah, he's going in there for a night only, so which is pretty cool to have a little bit of local company as such. And I'll probably get him pissed later so I can get some photos out of him, something like that. Anyway, yeah, rods are sorted, all looking sweet out there. I've started to man up a little bit, being out in that boat, not so scared anymore in these waves, now knowing that that boat can sort of take a little bit of pressure. The only reason why I'm bloody scared is because I've had a boat go over on me once. I was playing a fish one time, and the person that was calling to me said, "You need to turn your boat round," like shouting at me, and I didn't get the boat round in time, and it flipped up on end as this wave come. Battery fell out the back of the boat. Rod I've just threw whilst playing a bloody fish. Bad angling, I know, but I was shitting myself. The boat was vertical, and I had to jump in the front of the boat, ditch the rod, come back to the bank, wait until the weather calmed down, went back out there, retrieved my rod, but the fish had gone. But yeah, I always have visions of that memory whenever I'm out and then waves are up and down like this, or the boat's on the side and what have you, and it's not facing this wind. Always petrifies me, hence why I'm a little bit of a p about it all. But anyway, right, them rods are wicked. Waves are still lapping in with that old clay water there. On the end of this, it's absolutely gin clear. You know, this water is gin clear normally, but with these savage winds, it's murking it right up. Let's see what the second night brings, and the first night of actually having 4 proper rods in the water. Is that boat strapped down? Yes, it is. Right, we'll see you when one of them go. Oh, well, that was a much needed kip, let me tell you. That was the best I've slept for the whole of this trip so far. Ideal. Nice. Although I did have a bloody catfish on that right hand rod last night. That one went not only with a catfish but a brem as well, but like early on in the night. And yeah, that was it. Nicky has had his first carp of the trip, or first one, sorry, for this place. He's had a lovely 30-pound mirror. Ideal, especially with the amount of ag that we had yesterday. It was a bit of a nightmare just with all the boats. The wakeboarder wiped me out. Nicky had a couple of pike anglers wipe him out. I had a couple of French kids pick one of me bloody poles up down that right hand edge there, and they've moved that. I'll go and sort that out. But it was a bit of a monsoon here last night, and the boat's full up with water, so I'm just draining that out at the minute. The French mate Steve, he's just heading off that way up the end of the pond. Got loads of info out of him last night, which was ideal. So yeah, well worthy of sacrificing a few beers. And yeah, he sort of said to me, you know, this is a very good zone out that way. So I had a time lapse going last night, and I think looking on the back of the GoPro, I haven't seen on a computer yet, but it looks like people are pinging out there in boats, or there's head torches in the background. And Steve said that he thought he heard an alarm screaming over that way last night. So, you know, there's a lot of trees in the water over there, and yeah, it's a bit of a holding ground for them. I think me and Nicky are going to at least do one more night here. It's Sunday, so, you know, fingers crossed, come tomorrow it should be less busy. Steve said that there's about 6 carp anglers in that zone out there somewhere or other. So 4 rods out there at the moment. How long they're going to stay out there before they get wiped out by something or other, who knows. But yeah, looks beautiful out there all the same. Day has drifted away. The Arsenal have just won. Happy days. And I think I'm going to move a rod, to be honest. I think that deep rod that I put out over past the sort of island out there in 16 foot of water, I'm going to move that onto the end here where my old mate Steve was fishing. Perhaps put a rod on the end here. Only thing is, people like coming through here with their boats. Sort of, they like coming through this cut through bit with their sailboats and all that. So yeah, I think I might have to have the rod quite far back so that the line's just drooping in here, sort of thing. But yeah, thinking of putting one just out there, just before that tree, sort of in between this tree and that one, is like where he was sort of dotting about. So let's just drop that rig down there. Boom, boom. Pick him up. Yeah, that's not snarling on anything. Sorted. Right, let's put a bit of bait out then. There we go. Let's skedaddle. Nice shallow rod that. I haven't got anything that sort of shallow, you know, so yeah, I think the deep water just doesn't feel the one at the moment. Definitely not. I think nice bit of shallowness like that. Nicky had his from 6 foot thinking about it, I think, underneath a tree that's on this island. So yeah, it would suggest that fishing in the shallower bits is probably the best bet. got one off of the M rod, the old mate Steve's rod off the end there. So yeah, buzzing with that. It's, what's the time? It is 4 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, we have got one. So just slinged him up. Had to go out in the boat. Rod busted off, ran up there, leant into him, started to play him, thinking, oh my god, this is a big one, this is a big one. And then it just got snarled up on something. There was a couple of bushes out there that I noticed today, because the water's gone really clear. Where the wind's sort of stopped blowing now, it's you can see the bottom. I can actually see where my rig was and everything in 6 foot of water. And yeah, he'd caught on one of these little spindly bushes that were out there. So I come back, got the boat, and as I brought the boat back, it busted back off. Went to get my camera, but yeah, the rod started busting off, so that ended up getting left here. Went out there in the boat, lead was still on, hence why he felt like an absolute bloody monster. But yeah, we'll sling him up and we'll wait for that sun to come up in an hour, and we'll get him up and have a look. Wicked. This morning's result off of my old mate Steve's spot. That is a proper long, mean fighting machine common, 22 pounds. So biggest one from the venue so far. We are going to get the rods in though and go and have a look about it a little bit. Can't help but feel that it's just all these males up this end of the pond for me and for Nicky. You know, he's had a mirror now of 30 pounds and he's had a couple of small commons, and I've had a small common and this 22 pounder as well. So can't help but feel that them males are about a lot down this end. Where are them females at? So we need to go on the hunt today. But that is one mega carp. Proper buzzing with him, wicked. And then mountains in the background. Don't get better scenery than that, does it? Right, let's get some snaps and we'll send him on his merry way. But wicked, absolutely awesome. Nice! Sweet. One last look at him. Absolutely awesome. Mega. Wicked. Right. Nice kiss for you. Thank you very much for the visit. Theodore exploring, and yeah, I'm in amongst all the trees here at the moment, just having a look in all these shallows that are around here. So where it was 60 foot out there, it's now sort of 10 foot all around this zone. Yeah, just having a look, see whether I can stumble across the mother lode really in amongst all of these trees here, but all I've seen is a big shoal of bream and that's about it. There's a couple of French anglers here just lure fishing. I can tap them up, see whether they, because ideally you want the lure anglers on side because they're about everywhere all day and they normally see the carp for you. So I'll try and speak some of my French to them, which will no doubt come off wrong, but we'll see what happens. Well, I've boated about, didn't see any of the fish in them snags. I went all along that island there, nothing. And it is 60 foot below me. You know, I'm not a million miles off of this island that's here, but yeah, it's just not looking likely anywhere. There's a couple of geezers set up on this corner here, fishing out this way. So I sort of come along that snaggy margin there and then come out round here, round that island. It's 8 foot deep there and 60 foot deep here. It's looking a bit deserted out here of carps. I would have thought I'd have seen them along that snaggy margin that I was going along there. It's about 200 yards of it, I think. Lots of small things and that's about it. With the rods back out for the evening, it was a quiet night on the fishing front. The next morning we decided to reel all the rods in and go searching for some carp to fish for. With the lake being flat calm, this was the perfect opportunity to find fish via the boat. What took us by surprise though was the extreme depths of this lake. 95, what? 97, 99.
100.
No, it's gone back up the way. Oh, it's coming back up now. Just spent the whole day in the boat. Reeled in this morning, got out across the pond, and we've literally boated for the whole day trying to find some carp. We went right down every single bay of this place, all the little trees, all the little nooks and crannies, looked everywhere, and we saw 3 commons, tiny ones, and that's it. If we would have seen anything else, we'd have definitely moved on to them. But yeah, there's everyone, we spoke to other anglers as well, and no one's caught anything. We've done well to have caught what we've caught by the sounds of things. So we're gonna get out of here, basically. Oh, another random thing that's just happened. We actually saved a woman from drowning. So we'd taken the boat into one of these like little bays out the back there, and I can hear all this anting and panting, and we thought it was a horse because it just sounded like something like it's all the time. Me and Nicky like, what on earth is that noise? We've gone like down this back channel, and there's a woman clinging on to these branches for dear life with her boots in her mouth. I was like, "You're right?" And she's like, wee. I was like, "Are you struggling there? Do you want to hold on to the boat?" So she's grabbed hold of the side of the boat. We've taken her back to her mate. But wow, yeah, that was a little bit random, just, you know, for us to have been there at that time. I suppose our good little deed done for the place. I've got me mountain shot with that comment, you know, I'm happy with that, in all fairness, considering how hard the lake's been fishing, and we've spoken to other guys, no one else is catching. I think we've done well. Let's get packed up once again, let's get loaded in the van, let's do this. Right, and oh no, Lee, you absolute monkey clown. Just crash landed into the boat, right into the bank, right into a stump. Prick. Oh my God, Lee, you are an absolute clown. Look at all that, just launched straight into that. Div, trying to switch his Foxing camera on, just delayed for me for no reason whatsoever. Unbelievable. Probably going to lose that towboat. Oh, right. Stop whinging, Lee. Ugh. We're out of here. That is it. See you later, island. Goodbye, mountains in the background there. Towboat in tow. Which I'll probably bloody lose, no doubt, or sink or something. But I'll go and grab me fox poles. Oh, my poles disappeared. It's a pain in the arse. Right, yeah, time to concentrate, set sail across this 30-foot of water that's definitely below me without bloody sinking with all my whole life story on the boat. Go and get me other pole and skedaddle, get out of here. So yeah, it's been good, it's been wicked. We've been lucky, we've caught some fish. I've got me mountain shot, so I'm buzzing with that. Just a little bit gutted that I couldn't get one of these phenomenal mirrors that are in here. But spoke to another angler and he said that they're spawning now, so probably a good time to leave, definitely. So let's get back to the van, see what dramas that's gonna bloody cause me, and then skedaddle and get out of here. Hey, we got the van started. The van was dead, so yeah, we used Nicky's battery to jumpstart the bloody thing. It's a pain in the arse. So the mammoth task of loading this van begins again. We're not bringing it down on this boat launch again. We nearly snapped the van in half doing that. How many days it was. So yeah, time to get them boats, all that kit loaded back into here. With the van now loaded and dinner being a healthy McDonald's, we then drove through the night and ended up at the next venue at gone midnight. Our little pit stop under all these solar panels for the night. We yeah, there was no, the lake's, the boat launch, well, the lake's there and the boat launch is over there, and you're not allowed to bivvy up anywhere near the boat launch and that, so we've decided not to do that and sleep under these panels for the night. The next adventure will begin soon once we've been to the supermarket. But yeah, looks like a nice little spot. Looks like a lively park lake. Again, there's a track all the way around it. We got here at midnight, walked for 2.5 hours, 81 acres it is, walked all the way round, couldn't find any anglers, was worried it was a day only water, but it's not. There was 2 anglers, we found 2 anglers in the end, bivvied up. Yeah, I know, yeah, we were buzzing. As soon as he sees 2 anglers, we were like, yeah, we can fish at night, couldn't believe it. So yeah, never been so happy to see other anglers on a pond before, but surprised at the same time that there was only 2 anglers on. It's a lovely place as well. Boat launch is sweet. You would have thought it'd have been perfect for sort of many anglers really, but hopefully there's not going to be many anglers. Right, finish this tea, go to the supermarket. A quick dash round the supermarket to grab some supplies like tomahawk steaks. We were soon back on the road and unloading the van once again and ready to set sail. Yes! Here we go then. On to the brand new venue. Boats are loaded. I don't know how many hours that took. Longer than it always does, but yeah, we're sort of slowing down the longer the trip goes on. We're not going at 1,000,000 miles an hour anymore. Nikki's loaded. I'm loaded, as you can see behind. And yeah, we're about to head off that way. It sort of splits off in 2 arms, so it goes down that way and then it goes out that way as well. And this is the deep end of the pond. They're going to be up them shallow arms definitely, but one of the arms, that one there, that goes quite far down, that one. You can see the end of this one and it looked nice up there, but this end looked better. So that is the zone that we're going to head to. Fingers crossed this is the place that does it for us. 81 acres is like one of the bays on that last venue we were on, so yeah, it's a very small pond this one from what we're used to. Thought I saw something in there, but I might have been mistaken. Yeah, just going to creep along here in the hope that I stumble across. Oh, there's one there, and there's another one. There's 2 cutler, could have been mid-20s sat in there. Just sat in there, they are. If you'll see them on the camera, but yeah, they're just sat in that bit there. Only small ones though. There's a couple right in front of the boat there, look. Spook them, twat. Trying to bloody film and keep control of the boat, it's not ideal, but yeah, there was a couple of decent ones there. I would say that they were probably 30-pounders, just sat up on the surface there, so yeah, good little sign, there's a few fish about. There's a good one, that one there. You can just see him sort of sat on the surface out there, just there, look. That's a 40-pounder that. That's a good one, sat there. Proper. And try not to disturb him too much, but yeah, it's good carp that. So this snaggy bit along here, fish from over here anywhere, ideal. Didn't disturb him and he still sat there, so leave him to his day. Okay, well, we're settled on a place then, and settled on this little intimate bay just here. There's plenty of them in here. One of them looks like a 40-pounder at the very least. It's not the deepest of bays, but I've got sort of the open water out here as well, and all that tree line there. Sort of, it's my own little bay in here definitely, but this is where they are, sort of just out in amongst all this weed that's here to my right. Got a heron in the corner there, just having a little stalk just there. But yeah, lovely little intimate bay this. There's a snag tree over in the corner there and a bit of an opening in the weed. I'll have to run my line over that and then down in that little opening, and then that's where I saw them 2 fish that I disturbed over there. Got all that reed line there, and then it bends around that corner. So I've got plenty to sort of go at in this sort of smallish, intimate bay, which is cool. And I've got a bit of shade from a tree here, which is nice, and a fire pit, and a very busy track that runs sort of down and around and what have you. There's plenty of people on that track, but yeah, it looks lovely. It does look nice. This is us for a couple of days at the very least, I would imagine. Right, unload the boat, get everything set up, ready to rock and roll. There's a big common there. That's a good one. Just moving in the weed underneath the boat here. So I think that's probably my spot down there. There's another big common sat there. Yeah, this looks good. I don't know if you can see him there, but yeah, he looks a good one. I think this zone here, there's another big one sat out there. Yeah, there's a lot of fish in here. So let's hope it's clear down here, shall we? Let's drop the rig down. It's fairly clear down there, it's nice and hard. It's gorgeous. That's me, I think. A few switch cod balls around it. The line just coming across the top of that weed, so any bites to be had, it'll just be a case of jumping straight in the boat, and all they'll do is just weed themselves up and then I'll go and get them. That'll be the case, I think. Yeah, there's plenty of cods about. Ideal. Chuck that there for a minute so I don't lose my boat again. Grab a pole, tighten him up, strap him down. There we go, sorted. We'll plug him in. First rod done. Right, next rod's probably going to go along them snags along there somewhere, and I might double lead it, don't know yet. But yeah, is that their route in and is that their route out, or is it vice versa? Who knows? But yeah, ideally you always want to fish their route out. A little donk about there. Oh, it's hard there. Oh, it's rock hard in front of this. Bit of weed there. Weed there. Yeah, it's bloody rock hard there. And drop him a couple of times just to double check that it is clear down there. What I'm gonna do is just retract this rod, make life a little bit easier just for dropping. So I'm gonna swing him in there. Couple of donks. Look at that. Lovely and clean. Beautiful. Right. So swing him down. Perfect. So yeah, we've obviously got one in there by them two twigs. Got one that might be on their route out if they use this margin. Might get one out here somewhere where the heron's sat, and then one in the open water. Here's the third rod then. So bit of a tiger nut circle going on there. But yeah, it sits absolutely gorgeous, that. So it sits with the hook sort of clawed over like so, and then them just wafting above. Right, well, I've had a good boat round, and unfortunately there's nothing along that bank there. It's loads of silkweed about, loads of normal weed as well, but this is where the silkweed ends. All the way from that bank, I've worked it all the way back here, so I'm going to replace that H block with a marker pole like so. Perfect depth, happy days. Let's get that H block in because they're bloody dangerous. You don't want to get snarled up in that. You'll never get snarled up in a pole. This is obviously the tiger rod, so I'm just going to bait a decent area of tigers near this, so spread them out a little bit. stop anything coming sort of from that end. I'd imagine they'll work their way along this bit here. Hopefully this will stop them in their tracks. Fingers crossed. So bang, beautiful, and go. Lovely. Right, so that is 3 rods sorted. With the 4th rod spot found in roughly 12 foot of water, I replaced the H block with the halo marker pole. I then made a huge spread of 18mm bug boilies all around this zone, which was in front of the halo marker pole. The bollocks rig was then back wound down onto the spot in amongst all the 3 offerings. With all 4 rods set for the evening, it was then time to stick some chicken onto the cob and take in the first evening's atmosphere. It's all been about the open water rods tonight then, so the old tiger nut one's just busted off. What feels like a carp. It's now swimming towards me. I can't probably see much here. Yeah, he's in. There's only an hour or so until it's light, so I'll probably keep hold of him. Wow, well, good morning. Right, just had my second cup of tea of the morning. Just wake myself up. Gonna get this fish out. Need to get him out and film him. And yeah, this morning I think it's a French kingfisher. I've never seen one before. Yeah, he was running up and down the boat. He's not a very good kingfisher because he was running along the bank here and there was little fish topping right behind him and he's sort of staring at me rather than staring at the pond. Very odd, but I'm sure it was I don't know, I've never seen one before, but yeah, I think it's a French kingfisher. I think you get them blue ones over here as well as the whatever that was. I don't know, my head's still a bit ugh because I had a rubbish night's sleep last night. Them rods kept bloody bleeping, them ones every now and then, you know, did. I think it was bats flying into the line, but it's enough to, when you're snag fishing, get you shot up out of bed. So yeah, that kept happening every other hour, which is a bit of a nightmare, one of them things. But yeah, right, I need to stop waffling anyway and do some more waffles with a different camera because I need to get him out, get him photographed and send him on his merry way. So I'll see you on the other side. Oh, he's bloody lovely. Bonjour. Right, well, he's crapping out bug everywhere, which is surprising because I've only put bug in on that other spot. And he's obviously been from there across to the other tiger rod. And yeah, he's an angry male. Huge fins on him, but dark and absolutely bloody gorgeous. That is a very nice carp. Right, I'm going to send him on his way because he is an angry one. Get a couple of snaps beforehand and then get that rod back out there, get that tiger rod back out and the bug rod, because it seems like you and your mates have been eating plenty of bug by the sounds of things. Wicked. Right, let's get him home. Nice start though, eh? Nice start. Right, so here's my tiger rod. I'm a little bit concerned because that's obviously a swim there. You know, if someone turns up in there, I'm a bit screwed here. Not the best of choices really, Lee, but it was the nicest spot, this one, so just awesome tigers in here. Plenty of tigers about the joint. Okay, and swing low. Bosh. Beautiful. Easy as that. So yeah, that's where obviously all the bug is over there. So he's travelled from there all the way over to here and had a feed up on this one as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna horse a load more bug. I've got a load more bug ready to rock and roll on that spot. Probably put 5 kilo out. I'm probably getting on for 10 kilo I put on that spot last night. So yeah, I proper horsed it in there. Just want to sort of stop anything sort of coming this way along that bank there. and 10 kilo bug should do that. Alright, and that's that. So that's all the rods back in the pond. I'm surprised that the that bay hasn't done anything. Could have done with the sun out really today for that, to be honest. But it's one of them things. I'm sure they're still in there though. It's a nice little quiet bay for them to sit in, but all the while it's nice that these open water rods are going, because I feel like if a monster's going to come, it's going to be from either this rod or that tiger rod, definitely. So we shall see. Absolute schoolboy error in me shorts, left me bloody trousers in the van, and what a tit. So yeah, freezing me cods off. Not ideal, but that's one of them. I'm not going back all the way back to the van, which is miles that way. Well, it's not miles, but it's far enough that way just to get a set of trousers. Ain't the one, I'd rather freeze. I'll come back in a very straight line there. Only taken a week and a half to get that right, but hey ho. Okay, well, Nicky's just got his rods in from down in his bay, and he's been poisson shattered. I didn't swear then, that is what they're called. Yeah, they've nibbled away his hook bait, so I'm now a little bit worried about these ones that are in the bay here. These two, they could have been poissoned, so I'm gonna get them in. I'm gonna get this left hand one in and we'll have a look to see what's going on. Can't be sat behind rods that have got no hook baits, of course, so let's get this one in. Let's have a look. By the looks of things, I've been done. Yeah, savage. That is what happens when you've been poissoned. No, they've just nibbled away. That was a 22mm boilie with pop up on the end, and that's all I've got left of it. It's been annihilated proper. So yeah, that's not ideal. That is not ideal. So pop him back in there and get this one in. Just no doubt been poissoned as well. Oh, it looks like the hook bait's still on that one by the looks of things, unless it's a blob of weed. No hook bait whatsoever on that one. Savage. Not ideal. Hook's still sharp. So yeah, they'll need to be redone. Look at the putty. See, the putty's been done over there, look. So that could have been crayed. So he's had a little nibble up on that. So one's been poissoned, one's been crayed. Savage. I'm just having a little drift about in here. Not seeing a lot at the moment. Seeing any cods. I think it needs to be a bit more sunnier for them to be in here. They've obviously vacated. I'm not seeing any at the moment. Bosh. Sorted.
Oh, c'est magnifique, eh? Oh.
Have a nice time.
Yeah. Right, well, I hope to God this head cam's recording this time. I'm having mares with that camera. The old bike camera's been running. Just going to double check this. It is working, yeah. I'll try and get it back on me bloody head. Like so. Yeah. Left-hander, not been out very long. These Explorer TIs have been absolutely lovely. They have been a really nice rod. They have served me well on their first proper outing. And in all honesty, I know them FX13s look a bit big, but they've sat on these rods really well. You know, they haven't been too heavy or anything, because they are a big old reel. They certainly fight well in here. Proper. got some big old swells coming up there at the bank. Right. All the weed there's not helping matters. There he is, all common. Oh, he don't look a bad one. He don't look a bad one at all. Cool, yeah. It's a nice looking carp. Come on. Come on. Come on. Stop there. Come on. Come on. Yes. Happy days. That'll do. That will do. Yeah, nice. That could be my biggest one of the trip so far, definitely. Crapping out tigers. Okay, well, he may not be the prettiest of carps, but he's definitely an old one. And very hard to hold as well, but yeah, £29 that one, so they're definitely getting bigger. Yeah, the fact that we're getting bites off of all of that bait that I'm putting out there is a bonus, definitely. So I'm going to put these two rods that are in this bay behind me here out into the open water and hopefully capitalise on some of the bites that I'm getting from ones like this. Wicked. Right, we'll send this old warlock, is that what you call them? Warlock or war something or other? We'll send him back anyway. But yeah, that is a proper old one and a cool one. Right, change of plan. I'm going to get these two in after having that 29-pounder. The open water rod seems like is where it's at, so I'm going to get these two in. They're in this bay, they've done nothing. I've had no bites on them. I've had one bite on the right hand rod that's out in open water and 2 bites today on that left hand rod. So it just seems silly them sitting in that bay. The fish aren't in there. There's a load of terrapins in there. There's terrapins bloody everywhere in that bay, to be honest. I reckon there's probably 10 terrapins out there. So I don't want to catch one of them because you do bloody catch them things. I've caught one before, right pain in the arse, vicious little bastards as well. So I'm going to get these in, move the sticks over. I'm going to find somewhere just out in this channel here, sort of out in the deep bit, and put some switch balls out there along with the bollocks rig as well. And then I'm going to fish off of the buoy as well. So I've only got one more halo pole, so I'm going to put one out in the centre of this channel on the halo pole, load of switch balls, and then where the buoy is, just come off of that buoy into the dead in the centre zone basically, and fish one out there. Just find a little hard spot with me little donking rod and a grappling lead, get these all sorted, and yeah, hopefully they all start busting off. That would be nice. Chops on him, yeah. Nice. £22 wannabe grass carp by the looks of him, especially by the length of him. He's an angry one, and yet another male that we've caught on this trip. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh. Was hoping to get a decent night's kip last night because we're on the move once again today, and I didn't bother putting the rods back out. All of them went, other than one of them that got wiped out. Small commons, the lot of them. Wasted too many days on this venue in the hope that it was going to do a giant, and it hasn't. It's done us plenty of bites though. We've had plenty of fish, had some nice ones. You know, they might not have been the biggest fish in the world, but you know, lovely carp all the same. But this next move has to be the right one. We've got a few options. Which ones would you choose? The options are Shanty, which is 9 hours away from here, Salagu, which is days only. I've got no roof rack, so it would have to blow the boats up every morning, pack them back down. We can't kip on the bank. Camping's forbidden on the bank. It's days only. There's an option of going the Rainbow. It's a cop out, isn't it? You know, Rainbow's a bit, oh, I'm going to go back to Rainbow. He'll be looking up there, old Macmillan, going, see, told you, you're only ever famous for it. But it's the Mecca, isn't it? Decisions, decisions, decisions. So that is the 3 choices. Which one are we going to make? So I think the choice that we have made, but we found out that on Salagu we can actually do nights on the bank, but we've got to pat the tents down. But yeah, it seems like we're going to go there at the minute, but that might all change yet. Meantime, let's get off this pond and go and find another one. Well, we've arrived, and yeah, we're just down one of the shallow arms at the minute that might be shut off. This is it, just behind here. It's very busy with campers and people, and I've got a feeling you're not allowed past. It's out there. There's red boys out there stopping you from coming past. Right, well, we missioned round Salagu. I've never seen so many campers, swimmers, boaters, just people everywhere. I know it's a weekend and all that, but surely them thousands of campers that are flocked on there aren't just there for the weekend. The fact that we can't fish nights as well is hurting me a little bit, because it's all nighttime bites, and it has been for most of this trip as well. Let's go to this new venue. I can't name this venue, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll see if this is the one or not. Let's hit the road. Let's get to this new venue. Right, well, we've just got to our destination. You probably can't see me, but you might be able to see that there's a light just behind me. That's the security guard saying that we are not allowed to fish here. We've already bumped into him once up at the campsite, and we just thought, oh, he's security for the campsite. So we've parked elsewhere, walked halfway around the lake, and he's rumbled us the other end of the lake. It's just going from bad to worse today, honestly. Salagu was a write-off. This place is a write-off. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do now. I haven't got a Scooby. It's not ideal. Right, so bit of an update of what's gone on the last 24 hours. Unbelievable. He sat down for this. So we left that other lake yesterday morning. I've come into this town and there's 2 left turnings, and I've gone to take one of the turnings, and with that, as I've gone to take this turning, this Audi TT's pulled up next to me, convertible thing, and this geezer is pointing at the van, screaming and shouting all this French. So we're going, mate, English, I am police officer. I'm like, oh my god, here we go, great. and he's pointing at the van, shouting all this French stuff, but kept saying police officer. And I'm like, do you want me to pull over or what? And he's just going, police officer, police officer. And I think he was an off-duty police officer. That's as far as I got. And he kept pointing at the van, and I don't know what the bloody hell he was going on. So I've ended up missing this turning, which has then cost us 50 miles out the wrong direction. Not only that, it took us on a toll which we never had a ticket for. So then we get to the toll, press the button, we haven't got a ticket. You pay, put it up, paid that ticket. It then took us round to the other side of the toll, didn't have a ticket for that one either. You pay, paid that one, drove all the way the 50 miles back to where we were, paid another toll, turned round, paid another toll. Finally got to this lake. The campsite had a security guard geezer, and he's flagged us down and gone, right, what are you doing, basically. He didn't speak any English, but we had to use the old iTranslate, and he's basically said that you're not allowed to fish it. You have to go to another lake a million miles away. I'm not going to another lake a million miles away, mate. So where can I park? Not here. Booted us off. So we've ended up driving around this lake for God knows how many hours after. We've then just found some random lay-by, thought we'll have a look at the lake. Walking around the lake, gets halfway round, all of a sudden a head torch comes busting out of the bushes. Guess who it is? The security guard. So we got rumbled by him again last night, obviously wasn't happy about it. So we've now spent the night on the May full moon in a bloody lay-by. This is the only decent track down it, and down there is bloody hell on earth. I ain't gonna get the van down there. And then even if you do get the van near the lake, there's a massive drop off, and it's just gonna take the whole day just to get anywhere near the pond, and then we've got to think about somewhere to park the van. So that's where we're at the moment. We're on the last bloody week, pissing about, walking up and down tracks like this, and we need somewhere to fish. Back to the drawing board. So much for rolling the dice on a good one. To be continued next time. Back on the road once again. There's not many places in the world you'll get a backdrop quite like the one I've got behind me here. Oh, well, I've caught some fish in my lifetime, but nothing quite like this one. We've got the one that I was hoping for, and what a place for it to happen.